day, future educators, and especially to our dear professor, Sir Officiar. I am Kate Marifayolsi Boctot, and I'm the assigned leader of Group 1, Week 2 to 3. Today, we will be presenting the Chapter 1, The Teacher as a in Society, the Chapter 2, The Teacher in the Classroom and Community. Here's the flow of our presentation. To be started by prayer, to be followed by an energizer, and for the energizer part, we humbly ask everyone to participate.
Let us bow our heads and feel the presence of our Lord. Lord, we thank you for today's blessings of life and strength, and for this great opportunity to learn and grow. May you bless our hearts with patience and enthusiasm. May you bless our minds with interest and wisdom. Give us the understanding and skills we need so we may gain something from today's class. Bless also our teachers and beloved parents for their unconditional love and support. Above all, heal the world that we live in, and forgive us from all our sins and shortcomings. We humbly ask this in the name of our Christ Savior. Amen.
Okay.
That's the end of our energizer. Let's get ready for the discussion.
Again, good day everyone. Are you ready for today's discussion? If you are ready, let's start the discussion. My topic is all about professional qualities and personal qualities of a respectable and dedicated teacher. Teachers are usually judged more strictly than other professionals. The professional and personality that teachers project determines the impression they make upon their students and even their colleagues. Their voice, bearing and manner of dress create a stunning and attractive appearance to those students, to those teachers, and to those people around them or looking at them as a teacher. So, it is very important for us to know what are the professional qualities and personal qualities of a teacher. So, before we will go further with the teacher's professional and personal qualities, let's take a look about teaching. What is teaching? Teaching is viewed as organized, purposeful, and even deliberate efforts are designed to bring about certain. Specifically, desirable ends in an individual. When we say organized, it has a process or procedure to be followed, and purposeful because every time we teach or you teach, it has an objectives that to be met. And now, let's go for the teacher. What is teacher? The primary goal of a teacher is to deliver classroom instructions that helps the student learn, and to accomplish that, the teacher must prepare effective lesson and grade student work and offer feedback, manage classroom materials, and productively navigate the curriculum and collaborate with other staff.
And now, what do we mean by professional qualities? It refers to the teacher's knowledge of the general subject matter to be taught, his understanding of psychological and educational principles, and his understanding and appreciation of the teaching profession. And how about the personal qualities? Personal qualities are those that stem from the teacher's personality, interest, attitudes, and beliefs, his behavior and working relationships with people and other individuals. And now let's go to the first professional qualities of a teacher, and that is the mastery of the subject matter. The teacher must have thorough grasp of the subject he teaches. This is contrary to the common notion that a teacher does not have to know very much to teach the children. Effective learning demands that the teacher possess a solid knowledge of his subject field. That's why it is really important for us to prepare and master our lesson before we will deliver this to our students, because that is part of our professional qualities of a teacher. Second is the understanding of the learner. This means understanding of the basic principles of human growth and development. If a teacher expects to guide learning effectively, he must know how much children at various levels of maturity are capable of understanding. So, it's not only that we master our subject matter to taught among our students, but we need to look into our learners, also their age, into their interest. Also, we need to look into their abilities and capabilities as a learner, because they are our audience. So, that is part of our professional qualities of a teacher. Third professional qualities of a teacher is understanding of teaching principles and skills in the use of techniques for their implementation. To promote learning effectively, a teacher knows not only what subject matter to be taught, but also how or these are the methods or strategies to teach. So, we need to take into considerations of the strategies to be used, especially in the delivery of our lessons. Fourth is the general understanding of other branches of knowledge. Present teaching demands that a teacher possess a general understanding of other branches of knowledge. He or she must be able to show how his or her subject field relates with other fields, particularly in the solution and organizing of learning experiences. We actually doing this, that we are integrating other fields or branches of knowledge in our lesson. For example, in your lesson in science, we can integrate math and English like that, and also what we call general understanding of other branches of knowledge. So, we could relate our lesson in this particular subject with other fields or branches of knowledge. Fifth is the understanding and appreciation of the teaching profession. A teacher must know how to work effectively not only with the pupils, but also with other people involved in the school, administrators, co-workers, parents, and other members of the community. And that is the 5 professional qualities of a teacher. And now, we will go to the personal qualities of a teacher. There's a lot of personal qualities of a teacher. If you have all of this, hold for it, because we are the role models of students that are looking at us, not just students but other people also. First, teachers, pleasing personal appearance. Before going to school, entering your classroom, you should have dressed up properly, because it is considered that our appearance is the best instructional material. Then, the manner, courtesy, and even the pleasant voice. When we say pleasant voice, it's how you deliver your lessons. And when you are delivering your lessons, make sure that your students can hear your voice, even those students who are sitting at the back. Aside from that, there are also intelligence, and yes, all of the teachers are intelligent, and that is one of our personal qualities. Emotional stability, it means handling our emotions, and even we know how to control ourselves. Also, a teacher has a personal qualities like sympathy, kindness, helpfulness, and patience. Aside from that is integrity, trustworthiness, honest, and loyalty. There are also flexibility, creativeness, and resourceful. Yes, as a teacher, we should have a plan A and plan B. And there's also sociability. Yes, a teacher know how to socialize with other people. Friendliness and cooperativeness. Also, fairness. Yes, it should be fair, especially when giving grades, and especially it should be fair when dealing with students, and also in dealing with other people around you as a teacher. There is also impartiality and tolerance, sense of humor, cheerfulness, and enthusiasm. Those are the personal qualities of a respectable and dedicated teacher. And that's the end of my topic, all about professional qualities and personal qualities of a respectable and dedicated teacher.
Good day everyone, I am Ira B. Bagalacsa, the second reporter from Group 1. Today, I will discuss the teacher as a person in society. In this topic, we will be focusing about the role of the teacher as a person in society and the essential characteristics that the teacher should possess. So what is the role of the teachers in the society? Teachers are one of the most significant members of a society. They are one of the most influential professionals in the community. Before a teacher becomes a professional facilitator, motivator, and initiator, teachers are essential learners of their own nature. Professionals will not be professionals without professional teachers in the society. Socially speaking, teachers are active contributors in the progression and development in a social institution. The question is, how can they manage to do that? What personal qualities of teachers are demanded by the teaching profession? And what personal traits must a teacher possess in order to function well as a professional teacher? These questions will be answered as we go along in our discussion. In the chosen career of teaching, personality can as an inspiration or otherwise to the student who she or he pledged to lead by the hand. A teacher must essentially possess the following characteristics. So we have 5 qualities and characteristics of a teacher should possess as a person in society. So first, we have the patient and approachable. They say patience is a virtue, and this couldn't be more true for teachers. Students should feel comfortable talking to their teacher openly and honestly, especially if they are struggling with schoolwork. It's also vital that a teacher is patient enough to listen and understand what the student is going through. So dealing with a large classroom will also require patience. Number 2, enthusiastic. There's no point in doing anything if you plan on doing it half-heartedly. A great teacher loves their job and everything about it. This is especially important for students, of course, as feeling a sense of enthusiasm from their teacher will inspire them to learn and apply themselves better. Positivity breeds positivity, right? So it's crucial to create a happy environment for young people to thrive in. Third is the strong communication skills. So the ability to articulate thoughts and ideas is an absolute must if you're looking to become an educator. Being a good communicator means delivering the information in a clear and constructive manner. And fourth is strong knowledge and a solid education. If you're thinking of becoming a teacher, you really need to know your staff. And it doesn't matter if you're a secondary teacher or a primary teacher, but it's essential that you have a certain level of education. And lastly is discipline. Believing in discipline is important in all professions, in all teachers. But for teaching, it's very vital. It's very important. And as a teacher, your responsibilities are quite diverse. From curriculum and teaching methods to managing classrooms and curriculum. So, those are the 5 characteristics and qualities of a teacher that he or she should possess. So, before I will end my discussion, let me read to you a quotation from Helen Caldicott. She says that teachers are the most responsible and important member of society because their professional efforts affect the fate of the earth. So always remember, we teachers are truly the backbone of the society. Do not underestimate your teaching profession because we are called to be the role models to children, to the community, to offer guidance and discipline to the young people, and to give our dedication and to give everyone, to give young people the power of education. So this is the end of my discussion and I hope you learned something today. Thank you and God bless everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone, especially to you, sir. This is Rebelin Cañon, and I will be the next reporter for the Group 1. My topic is all about the teacher's philosophical heritage. What is philosophical heritage? It is the study of ideas about knowledge, truth, nature, and the meaning of life. It is the set of ideas about how to do something and how to live. We have a very rich philosophical heritage. These philosophies may differ in their concepts of learner and values, in what should be taught, and in the manner of arriving at the truth. We have here the 7 philosophies of education: essentialism, progressivism, perennialism, existentialism, behaviorism, linguistic philosophy, and constructivism. First, we have essentialism. It is the educational philosophy of teaching basic skills. This philosophy advocates of training the mind. Essentialist educators focus on transmitting a series of progressively difficult topics and promotion of students to the next level of grade. Why to teach? It contends the teacher's speech for learners to acquire basic knowledge, skills, and values. Teachers teach not to radically reshape society, but rather to transmit the traditional moral values and intellectual knowledge that students need to become model citizens. What to teach? Essentialist programs are academically rigorous. The emphasis is on academic content for students to learn the basic skills or the fundamental arts: reading, writing, arithmetic, and right conduct. As these are, essential curriculum includes of higher or more complex skills needed in preparation for life. The essentialist curriculum includes the traditional disciplines such as math, natural science, history, foreign language, and literature. How to teach? It should be subject-centered. Memorization. Rely to prescribed textbooks, drill methods, and other methods that enables mastery of the subject. Essentialist teachers emphasize mastery of subject matter. They were expected to be intellectual and moral model of their students. Second is we have progressivism. Progressivists accept the impermanence of life and the inevitability of change. So why to teach? To promote intellectual growth of learners for competence, to develop learners into becoming enlightened and intelligent citizens of a democratic society. What to teach? The progressivists are identified with need-based and relevant curriculum. This is a curriculum that responds to the students' needs and that relate to students' personal lives and experiences. The subjects that are given emphasis in progressivist schools are the natural and social science. How to teach? It should be experiential method, problem-solving method, hands-on mind-on, thought-provoking games and puzzles. They believe that one learns by doing. For John Dewey, the most popular advocates of progressivism, book learning is no substitute for actual experience. Third, we have perennialism. The perennialist curriculum is a universal one and the view that all human beings possess the same essential nature. It is heavy on humanities and on general education. Why to teach? To develop students' rational and moral power. According to Aristotle, if we neglect the students' reasoning skills, we deprive them of the ability to use their higher faculties to control their passions and appetites. To educate the rational person, cultivate the intellect. What to teach? It should be less emphasis on vocational and technical education. Great books of ancient and medieval as well as modern times assist learners with their critical thinking. How to teach. Classical subjects, great books, and enduring curriculum. Use of great books, Bibles, classical books, and Quran. Apply whatever creative techniques and methods which are believed to be the most conducive to disciplining the student's mind. Fourth one is we have existentialism. Why to teach? To help students understand and appreciate themselves as unique individuals who accept complete responsibility for their thoughts, actions, and feelings. To help students to define who they really are and their essence. What to teach? Wide variety of options from which to choose. Humanities are given tremendous emphasis. Encourage individual creativity and imagination more than copying and imitating established models. How to teach? Learning is self-paced and self-directed. We have also to employ values, clarification, strategy. Fifth is the behaviorism. Why to teach? Concerned with the modification and shaping of students' behavior by providing a favorable environment since they believe that they are a product of their environment. What to teach? Teach the students to respond favorably to various stimuli in the environment. We have to oath the students to arrange environmental conditions so that students can make their responses to the stimuli. To make the stimuli clear and interesting to capture and hold the learner's attention. To provide appropriate incentives to reinforce positive responses and weaken or eliminate negative ones. Sixth is we have linguistic philosophy. Why to teach linguistic philosophy? Is to develop the communication skills of the learners, things that one obtains from his experience of life. What to teach? We have to teach and provide essential learning to learn language. How to teach? We have to teach them the language and communication, mastery of communication skills, verbal, non-verbal, paraverbal or listening, speaking, writing, reading, and viewing. The last one is constructivism. Why to teach? To develop intrinsically motivated and independent learners, adequately equipped with learning skills for them to be able to construct knowledge and making learn. They are taught learning process and skills such as searching, critiquing, and evaluating information. How to teach? It should be experiential learning. The teachers provide students with data or experiences that allow them to hypothesize, predict, manipulate objects, pose questions, research, and investigate.
Good afternoon everyone, my name is Escabusa and my topic is all about the teacher's philosophy. But first, what is philosophy? The word philosophy is derived from the two Greek words. The first word, philo, means love, and the second word, sophie, means wisdom. Literally, then means philosophy means love of wisdom. So, now let's talk about what is teaching philosophy. So, teaching philosophy is a self-reflective statement of your beliefs about teaching and learning. Yes, because it depends on the teacher's belief and his or her experience in life. So, it is important to understand how philosophy and education are interrelated. In order to become the most effective teacher you can be, you must understand your own beliefs while at the same time emphasizing with others. Yes, it is true that teaching philosophy is important, and also it is important to understand our own belief and our own experiences so that we can connect to the student. So next is, what are the philosophy of teaching? So according to my research, there are at least 3 major philosophy of teaching. First is teacher-centered philosophy, student-centered philosophies, society-centered philosophy. First, let's talk about teacher-centered philosophy. In teacher-centered philosophy, there are 2 types. First is essentialism, and the next one is parentialism. Essentialism is currently in the leading style of public education. It is the teaching of basic skills that have been proven over time be needed in society. And perennialism focuses on the teaching of great work. So, in this philosophy, teacher-centered, so it more focused on how the teacher address the student or give his idea about the lesson or about the society. And the next one is the student-centered philosophy. In student-centered philosophy, there are at least 3 types of student-centered philosophy. First is progressivism. Focuses on developing the student moral compass. And the second is the humanism. It's all about fostering each student to his or her fullest potential. And the last one is constructivism. Constructivism focuses on using education to shape a student worldview. So, student-centered, it is important that the student have a greater chance to develop and showcase his or her talent. So it more focused on the student. And the last one is society-centered philosophy. So in society-centered philosophy, there are at least 2 types. First is reconstructivism and behavioralism. Constructivism is the perspective that education is the means to solve social problems. Behavioralism focuses on cultivating behavior that are beneficial to the society. So in social-centered philosophy, the teacher must have greater knowledge how the society works, so that the teacher give the students the right information and idea how the society works, and the student will know how to adjust and be ready to the future. Okay, that's all everyone. My name is Escabusa.
Okay. Good day everyone. Today we will be going to discuss to you the foundational principles of morality together with my partner, Miss Mancao. So, as part of my discussion, let me introduce to you our topic for today. Okay. So someone once wrote of teachers that even in your worst day on the job, you're still some children's best. Indeed, society expects much from you, like a teacher. So, Henry Brooks Adams said it succinctly, a teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. And for you to be able to cope with these expectations, you should be anchored on the bedrock foundation of moral and ethical principles, or the foundational principles of morality. Okay, next is so what is morality, by the way? So according to Panizo in 1964, the quality of human acts by which we call them right or wrong, good or evil. So your human action is right when it conforms with the norm, rule of morality. Like if you're obeying the law, then your action is right. But if you're against it or disobeying on it, otherwise it's said to be wrong. For example, when Juan gets the pencil of Pedro without latter's permission, Juan's action is wrong because it is adherent to the norm. Stealing is wrong. Okay. Next is meaning of foundational moral principles. So here are some questions of this. Okay. So number one is, what is meant by foundational moral principle? So the word principle comes from the Latin word princeps, which means beginning, a source. A principle is that on which something is based, founded, originated, initiated. Okay, it is like to the foundation of building upon which all other parts stand. If you speak of light, the principle is the sun, because the sun is the body from which the light of this world originates. Okay. Next is where is this foundational principle or moral principle? So it is contained in natural law. Many moralist authors and philosophers may have referred to these foundational moral principles in different terms, but it may be acceptable to all believers and non-believers alike to refer to it as natural law. That's all, guys. Thank you. So next reporter is my partner, Miss Mancao.
Once again, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, classmates. As the continuation of the report of Mr. Jaranilla, which is the foundational philosophy of moral. So, what is the natural law? So, when we say the natural law, it is based on the principle or the truth. So, the term natural law is derived from the Roman term, which is just naturally, which means a system of law based on fundamental ideas of right and wrong. Adherents to natural law philosophy are also known as naturalists. So, in other words, the law argues that God created a natural law which are goal-driven and predictable system that make life sustainable and ensure that things are working smoothly. Also, the laws argues that God instilled a desire for the things that is so most important to his creator or creature. So, also, in other perspective, here are some of the meaning of the natural law. So first we have here according to the Bible, which is Roman verse 2 chapter 15. It is the law written in the hearts of men. So according to for the atheist, it is a man's share in the internal law of God, according to Panizo 1964. So also according to Saint Thomas, it is defined as the light of a natural reason, whereby we discern what is good and evil. And imprint on us of divine light, it is the law that says, do good and avoid evil. So here, the foundational moral principles. So all men and women, regardless of race and beliefs, have a sense of foundational moral principles. It is ingrained in man's nature. It is built to design of human nature and moving into the fabric of the normal human mind. So according to Panizo 1964, it says that writings and customs and monuments of past and present generation point out this conclusion, that all people on earth, no matter how savage and illiterate, have recognized the supreme law of divine origin, commanding good and forbidding evil. So, under the do good and avoid evil, we have here the Confucius. So, Confucius stated that do not do others what you do not like others to do to you. We have here golden rule of Christianity. So, only written in a positive form, do to others what you like others do to you. So, third, we have the two great commandments. According to this statement, love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. So here we have the Buddhist Eightfold Path. So first we have number 1, strive to know the truth. Second is resolve to resist evil. Third, say nothing to hurt others. 4, respect life morality and property. Fifth, we have engage in a job that does not injure others. It is very important, no? And then 6, we have strive to free their mind of evil. 7, we have control their feelings and thoughts. And last, we have practice proper forms of concentration. In everything we do, it is very important to have this we need to apply this Eightfold Path because it's very helpful to us. And also, we have here the 5 pillars of Islam. First, we have a prayer. Second, self-purification of fasting. Third, fasting. Fourth is almsgiving. And last, pilgrimage to Mecca for those who can afford. Here are the 4 ways of describing good moral character. So first, being fully human. Second, being a loving person. That's the most important. Third, being a virtuous person. Fourth, being morally mature person. So here, the foundational moral principle is do good, avoid evil. So this contained in the natural law. And so our act is moral when it is in accordance with our human nature. So most people nowadays tend to act morally and follow societal guidelines. Morality often requires that people sacrifice their own short-term interests for the benefit of society. People or entities that are indifferent to right or wrong are considered immoral, while those who do evil acts are considered immoral. So second, our act is immoral when it is contrary to our human nature. So when we say immoral, so immorality, it is an evil or sinful or otherwise among behavior. Since morality refers to the things that Alright, immorality has to do with things that are wrong, like stealing, lying, and murdering, and so on and so forth. So last, we have our intellect and free will make us different from above the beast. So in fact, the intellect and free plays a major role in everything we do. We use it every day for making a routine decision as well as the important ones. If our decision making has to be efficient, we must get the right prompts from within at the right time. So that's our topic for today, and thank you so much for listening.
Hello everyone, I am Teacher Shai. Today, we will be discussing about values formation and youth. Value formation is the confluence of personal experiences and particular culture we are entwined in. And R. Aquino stated that education in values means the cultivation of effectively leading the educand through exposure to an experience of value and of the valuable. So the question is there a right value to you and a right value to me? It basically means that being moral is to be human and living by the right values humanizes. So there are two varied answers to the question. If you belong to the idealist group, there are unchanging and universal values. But is there such a thing as right, unchanging, and universal value? As we go deeper, we will understand how this topic goes. An idealist is someone who envisions an ideal world rather than the real one. And transcendent values remain unchanged in between changing times, like love, care, and concern. They remain to be a value even if no one values them. They are accepted as values everywhere. So, on the other hand, the relativists claim that there are no unchanging and universal values. They assert that values are dependent on time and place. So the values that our forefathers believed in are not necessarily the values for the present. What the British consider as values are not necessarily considered values by the Filipinos. So, are values taught or caught? Values are taught and caught. The living examples of good men and women at home, school, and society have far greater influence on our value formation than those well-prepared lectures on values excellently delivered by experts who may sound like clanging cymbals or empty gongs. Values have cognitive, affective, and behavioral dimension. In the cognitive dimension, we must understand the value that we want to acquire. We need to know how to live by that value, and we need to know why we have to value such. And values are in the affective domain of objectives, and it is not enough to know what honesty or why one should be honest. One has to feel something towards honesty as preferred to dishonesty. Also, lastly, values have behavioral dimension. In the behavioral dimension, living by the values is the true acid test if we really value honesty. And value confirmation includes formation in the cognitive, affective, and behavioral aspect. Your formation as a teacher will necessarily include those dimensions. like being attentive to your value lessons, reading some biographies in other inspirational books, associating with model teachers, avoiding loud and aggressive person, and joining community immersions to be exposed to people in various walks of life. This will help you mold yourself into a better you as a person and as a future educator. Values are caught. Help yourself by reading the biographies of heroes, great teachers and saints in other inspirational books. For example, avoiding loud and aggressive person. They are vexation to the spirit. And another examples are being the type of person you want to meet, good things take time, nothing worth having comes easy. So, value formation is a training of the intellect and the will. The intellect discerns a value and presents it to the will as right or wrong value, while the will act on the right value and will to avoid the wrong value presented by the intellect. To put it simpler, the intellect is the human capacity to recognize or cognize, while the will is the human motivational capacity. It is the capacity that moves us to do what we do. So, St. Thomas describes that the intellect proposes and the will disposes. Nothing is willed unless it is first known. Your intellect must be enlightened by what is true. In developing your intellect, we must develop it in its three functions: the formation of ideas, judgment, and reasoning. It is also important to train your will for it to be strong enough to act on the good and avoid the bad. How can your will be trained to desire strongly the desirable and act on it? William Kelly states that training of the will must be essentially self-training. As I mentioned, it must be essentially self-training. We must learn how to control ourselves. The habit of yielding to impulse results in the enfeeblement of self-control. More urgent motives must not undergo a kind of atrophy through disuse. Do not be influenced to do any vice because it lessens one's responsibility to take care of himself, and it diminishes his ability to resist temptation. Habitual yielding to any vice, while it does not lessen one's responsibility, does diminish his ability to resist temptation. So, how can you increase your self-control? Likewise, the more frequently man restrains impulse, persists against temptation, the more does he increase his self-control and therefore his freedom. To have a strong will means to have control of the will, to be able to direct it despite all contrary impulses. Therefore, it is necessary that you develop your intellect in its three functions, namely the formation of ideas, judgment, and reasoning. So, virtuous versus vicious and their effect on the will. Virtuous life strengthens you to live by the right values and live a life of abundance and joy, while vicious life leads you to perdition and misery. But a friendly reminder, never give way to a vice. Instead, develop worthwhile hobbies and cultivate good habits. Virtues are no other than good habits. You get used to doing good that you will be stronger to resist evil. And now let's proceed to Max Keller's hierarchy of values. It is a hierarchy of value that is shown in our preferences and decisions. In Max Keller's hierarchy of values, there are 4 stages: the pleasure value, vital value, spiritual value, and values of the holy. So first is the pleasure value. The pleasure value mainly talks about the pleasant and the unpleasant versus the unpleasant, agreeable versus the disagreeable under sensual feelings and experiences of pleasure and pain. The value of pleasure lasts for the duration of feeling of pleasure. The mental value remains after the disappearance of the circumstances. Next is the vital values. Vital value mainly talks about health, vitality, capability, and excellence. Values pertaining to the well-being either of the individual or of the community. Values of the vital feeling. Next is the spiritual values. The spiritual values talks about the aesthetic values, right or wrong, values of pure knowledge. Values are independent of the whole sphere of the body and of the environment. It grasps in the spiritual act of preferring, loving, and hating. So lastly, the values of the holy. Values of the holy talks about belief, adoration, and bliss. It appears only in regard to objects intentionally given as absolute objects. So there are values clarification. The term value is reserved for those individual beliefs, attitudes, and activities that satisfy the following criteria. First, did you choose it freely? Second, did you choose it from among alternatives? Third, did you choose it after thoughtful consideration of the consequences of your choices? Fourth, do you cherish it? Fifth, do you affirm it publicly? Sixth, do you act on it? Seventh, do you act on it repeatedly or habitually? So the next topic will be teaching as a vocation. By using the word vocation, people typically mean that teachers have a calling to their particular profession or a strong urge to do what they do. This will be further discussed by the next reporter.
Good afternoon, everyone, especially to you po, Professor Opeshar. Before I start, I will introduce myself first. I am Loreline Joy Monton, and I'm going to discuss about teaching as a vocation, mission, and profession. So teaching as a vocation. The word vocation comes from the Latin word vocare, which means to call, meaning to say, the teaching as certification, it is more than a noble profession, it is a vocation, it is a call, it is your calling. So if there's a call, there must be a caller. And someone who is called, there must also be a response. For Christians, the caller is God Himself. For our brother and sister Muslims, the caller is Allah. Most often in this case, when people hear the word vocation, they will always refer to religious vocation. But let us know further on what is really teaching as your vocation. So when we say vocation, it's a strong feeling of stability for a particular career or occupation. And when we say teaching as your vocation, it will require your dedication and service in order for an individual to be considered as a real teacher. So allow me to share an example. A teacher who regards teaching as her vocation. Joy is addressed as a teacher for teaching and serving the children of a far rural community. she travels almost 20 kilometers every day for the sake of her student learning and development. So this is what teaching as vocation is. It is extending far beyond. It requires your dedication to be of service to the public, and the practice of teacher joy is regarded as teaching as a vocation because teacher joy dedicates herself to the field of service. So imagine she travels almost 20 kilometers every day in order for the students to learn. So meaning to say, when someone practices teaching as his vocation, they teach with dedication. In summary, vocation is only for someone or for some who are really dedicated, not just to work, but also to serve other people. So let's proceed to teaching as a mission. The word mission comes from the Latin word missio, which means to send. We are sent into the world to accomplish a mission. And teaching is a mission because after listening to the call, you are given a task to fulfill. So what is exactly the mission to teach? To teach is to influence every child entrusted in your care to become better, happier because life becomes more meaningful. That's simple because teacher who have mission that is to make each of students competitive, equipped with fundamental skills, and also to be a total person in this society, to teach and to help the child to become more human. And what exactly the mission of a teacher? To be an effective educator of facilitator of learning, imparting knowledge that is not just what written in books, but also in life. And teacher mission is to touch hearts and mind while leading children to be a better individual who have strong desire to contribute to the betterment of the society and the country. In short, teacher greatest mission in this world is to help every child become more human. And last is teaching as a profession. The element of a profession, the term professional, one of the most exalted in the English language, denoting as it does long and arduous years of preparation, a striving for excellence, a dedication to the public interest, and commitment to moral and ethical values. For the teachers to be able to give more service, which is the end goal of a professional education, is a must. So why does a profession require long and arduous years of preparation and a striving for excellence? Because to be able to give more service, which is the end of goal of a profession, continuing professional education is a must. So the service to the public as a professional turn to be dedicated without moral, ethical, and religious values serve as our bedrock foundation. So if you take teaching as a profession means that you must be willing to go through a long period of preparation and continuing professional development. So teaching is the one profession that creates all other professions and is the noblest profession that requires the highest standard of morality. So profession is a paid occupation, especially one that involves prolonged training and formal qualification. Just like engineers, nurses, doctors, and accountants, and etc. The preparation is long and tough. So teaching a life of meaning. Last, according to Dr. Joseph P. Bio, the first Asian teacher Intel Excellence in Teaching Award, Teaching may not be a lucrative position. It cannot guarantee financial security. It even means investing your personal time, energy, resources. Sometimes it means disappointments, heartaches, and pains. But touching the hearts of people and opening the minds of children can give you joy and contentment which money could not buy. These are the moments he teach for, and these are the moments he live for. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, especially to you, Professor Osek. I'm Anna Marie Pacabis, and my topic is all about National Competency-Based Teachers Standards, or NCBTS. What is NCBTS? NCBTS is the desired practice of effective teaching. It sets performance indicators that classify and appropriate domains and strands that guide teacher professional development. The NCBTS establishes performance indicators that are organized into relevant categories and strands to guide teacher development. It integrated theoretical framework that defines the different dimensions of effective teaching, where effective teaching means being able to help all types of students learn the different learning goals and the curriculum. Where successful teaching entails being able to assist students of all types and achieving the many learning objectives and curriculum. It characterized the good teaching in terms of the teacher credential, and a teacher can do competently a technique working group of a set of study and classroom learning experience were defined. The good teaching was defined in terms of the teacher's certification and a teacher's ability to do competently a technique working group of a series of studies in classroom learning. These practices were then organized and presented in a series of national, zonal, and sectoral consultation for finalization where the teachers, master teacher are presented. So, this training were then coordinated and introduced in national, zonal, and sectoral. Why do we need the NCBTS? It provides a single framework that shall define teaching in all aspects of a teacher development. It should minimize confusion about what effective teaching is. It guides for all teacher development programs and projects from the school level up to the national level. We need NCBTS because it gives a single system that might characterize instructing in all perspectives of an instructor improvement, in order to minimize perplexity around what compelling instructing is. It guides for all instructor improvement programs and ventures from the school level up to the national level. It is a good qualities of this technical process, as well facilitating the learning of students in terms of teaching knowledge to all contexts that essentially applicability across the teacher. It could be a great qualities of this specialized handle as well encouraging the learning of understudies in terms of educating information to all setting that basically pertinence over the instructor. It involves reflective, consistent application of and flexible application of technical knowledge in ways of that bring best about student, effective application of teacher knowledge, and the opportunities found in the learning environment. It includes intelligent, reliable application of an adaptable best approximately understudy, viable application of educator information on the happenings found within the learning environment. And the last one is, it is the holistic development with learners' background and experiences of the consistent knowledge behavior. And that's all my report. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, good day. I am Trisha Kyla Fabi Porras, a BS Ed Social Studies student, and I will be your next reporter. Today's discussion, let's talk about the 21st century teacher. And here are the objectives of our topic. First, an overview of the 21st century learner. Second, the characteristics of the 21st century teacher. The third, ways to motivate, teach, and assess the 21st century learner. And last is the significance of the 21st century towards the learners. So what is 21st century teacher? It refers to a certain core competencies such as collaboration, digital literacy, critical thinking, and problem solving that advocates students strive in today's world. In other words, it is defined as the era we are in now, a time of freedom and technological advancement. So 21st century skills is a broad set of knowledge, skills, work habits, and character traits that are believed to be critically important to success in today's world, particularly in college programs and contemporary career and workplaces. Holistically developed Filipino with 21st century skills. First is the media and information technology. It entered an era where technological changes are removing many of the distinctions between telecommunication, broadcasting, and IT through information media and technology. People in the 21st century live in a technology and media-suffused environment, marked by various characteristics including access to an abundance of information. Next is the learning and innovation skills. It includes critical thinking and problem solving, creativity, and innovation communication. So good teachers communicate concern and caring by their tone of voice and use of body language. So as a future educators, we're born to make a difference, and we must be able to break down complex idea into simpler words and smaller steps to transmit to the students. It's because if we don't want to simplify our ideas, maybe our students will not easily understand of what we are talking about. Life and career skills include the flexibility and adaptability, initiative and self-direction, social and cross-cultural skills, productivity and accountability, leadership and responsibility, and lastly is the ethical, moral, and spiritual values. Characteristics of a 21st century teacher. First is the adapter. The 21st century teacher as a communicator must be fluent in tools and technologies that enable communication and collaboration anytime, anywhere. So they do not only know how to do communication, they also know how to facilitate, stimulate, control, moderate, and manage communication. The next characteristics is the communicator. So the 21st century teacher as a learner must be a lifelong learner and also change and learn as the horizons and landscape of change. The third is the learner. So the 21st century teacher as a visionary must have rich imagination to see the potential and grasp and manipulate the emerging tools and web technologies, look at others' idea and envisage how they would use this in their class. Third, make other fields as leverage to reinforce their own teaching and the learning of their students. The next is the visionary. So, the 21st century teacher as a leader leads by example by championing processes and modeling skills, walks and the talks. Advocates early adaptate of maverick, set clear goals and objectives crucial to the success of a project. 21st century teaching and learning must be based on the following broad skills. first is the collaborative inquiry to solve real and relevant problems. The second is be creative and innovative. 3 is the critical thinking and the problem solving. And last is the communication, because communication is the key to everyone's companion. Here are the example of the 21st century Texas educator, whereas we can see the educator has no limits. According to MK Passy, teaching skills are specific instructions that are used by a teacher. It is a teacher related to different activities where are continuously used by the teacher in classroom interactions. That could be all. Thank you and God bless us all.
Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, classmates. I am the next reporter, and I am Glory P. Sabudan, third year B.Ed student. And now, I will present to you about the school and community relations. And now, we will know what are the relationship between the school and the community, and what are the benefits and the effects between the school and the community, and how the school and community are important, and how school and community are related in teaching profession or in education. Before that, let us know what is school. School is an institution for learning and teaching, and where the student and the teacher will enter. And what is community? Community, it is a body of people living in the same place under the same law. The effects of school community is the school of the community are the mainspring of effective and powerful forces that can create wholesome climate for mutual gains and betterment. And their relationship is a kind of partnership where both are willing to share information as well as responsibilities to the best interest of the children while in school. Likewise, when dealing with members of the community. And now, let us talk about the teachers, parents, and community. So first, the parents. The parents are the first teachers in the home. They are responsible for the development of values, attitudes, and habits that will be needed as their children associate with classmates in the school. The second one is the teachers. The role of the teachers in school continue to enrich the students' experiences at home, thus strengthening the valuable personal traits and characteristics initially developed. And the third one is the community. The members of the community, in addition to the parents and relatives, like the government officials, the professionals, and all the residents are highly motivated to participate in the parent-teachers activities and projects. In the school, children experience difficulties and problems regarding ability to accomplish assignments, irregular attendance, study habits, negative attitudes, and problems with self-discipline. The best way to come up with a solution is to conduct a face-to-face conversation of teachers and parents, or the teacher may pay a visit to their home or a home visitation. So the students are become calm and friendly, positive attitudes, regularly in attendance, and doing daily assignments need strong motivation and encourage. And as we can see, the connection of teacher, parent, students is very important in the learning. It is very important of having communications. There is no school without the support of our parents or the community. Number 3, the values and inclinations are instilled starting from the home and are developed further in the school. For example, honoring, self-discipline, and respect others. Number 4, the interest. The special interest and innate talents will be nurtured as they are in a young age with their guardians or mentor in order to provide them with continued opportunities. School and community have a collaborative relationship. In the school officials, municipality or city officials, and during historic celebration in both places, participation by each is easily enjoyed by the school and community. A strong feeling of togetherness become evident. And the second, the school and community have organized associations. Schools have organized parent, teacher, and community association with the officers coming from both their members. And the school community have a public safety, beautification, and cleanliness for protection and disciplinary measures developed by all. And the school and community have a values exhibited. Outstanding school personnel as well as barangay officials are honored. Professionals and practitioners from the community can be invited as resource speakers during observance of significant school rites. So, instructional centers like public or town library. And that's all. Thank you for listening.
Good day, everyone. Good day, sir. My name is April Zamora, and my report is all about linkages and networking with organizations. So, what is linkages and networking? The school and its community, in collaboration with public and private, are indeed inspirable if they are to create an impact in the life of the students. With that, they establish creative efforts aimed at founding close affiliations. Thus, this interrelationship amongst the foundation and organization is characterized by mutually and genuine sharing of responsibilities, ensuring valuable gains, attainment of educational objectives. In short, we have linkages and networking. So what is linkages all about? So linkages is a form of interconnections or institutions functioning along the same mission are intended to serve members of both sides according to their respective needs, interests, and objectives. So linkages, which term as interrelationship, is an interaction between function and organization to promote integration and achievement of shared objectives. It creates bonds together to solicit support and assistance for purposeful activities. In short, it is a mutually beneficial, which means organization who commit to link or establish connection between one another who shares whatever resources or need to support each other. And with that, we have linkages in international, national, and local. So the first one, we have Phi Lambda Theta. It is an international honor society and professional association of women educators. So Phi Lambda Theta, it is excellent in teaching project. It is an organization. It is connection between the school of the organization. They also helping the student, outstanding students across the nation. So the next one we have Simeo Anatech. It is a center for training educational leaders, conduct training programs to upgrade the competencies of teachers from the Asian region in all disciplines. So Simeo Anatech, it is a project to upgrade teachers' knowledge and skills in implementing alternative learning system. So the main purpose of Inatech is to upgrade through a workshop, through discussion, the competencies of the teacher, the competencies of the subject of the teacher, because having new ideas, new knowledge can help the students, or it will bring great impact to the students. Or the goals is to identify education problems and needs of Southeast Asia countries that developing innovative and technology based. So the third one, we have WCCI, or World Council for Curriculum and Instruction. It has held conferences in different member countries annually, which participated in the members of the local chapter. So it is appreciate the interest and commitment of educators worldwide in participating in the conference. Also, their mission is to advancing the achievement of just a peaceful and community to promote person-to-person and professional relationship. So the next one we have ASCD, or Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. It is a membership organization that develops program products and services essential to the way learn, teach, and lead. So it is a membership organization that programs, product, and services essential to the way educators. So linkages shows that even these encounters are making ways to communicate and share whatever they know and impart learning with each other. So the next one, we have national and local linkages. It is between universities and colleges offering identical relationship. It is also joint researches such as dissemination of findings to the other universities. So we have networking. So networking is a design incorporating the strength and availability of services and expertise from both groups and organizations. So we have networking for professional organization and foundation, media, and government offices. The next one we have networking with professional organization. So number one is consortium among universities and colleges. So a network of colleges and universities that share academic and extracurricular organizations. So the meaning of consortium, it is open to all subjects across all institutions, and some of these examples are TAF Consortium and the Medulla Consortium. So these universities participate in the full consortium resources such that instances that the science teacher and each college meet regularly for discussion that best practices. So the next one, we have subject specialists. So number one, we have Biota. So Biota, it is an organization of biology teachers from universities nationwide. So they held an annual convention together and discussed the latest in their own areas. The second one, we have MathEd. So MathEd, it is a council of mathematics teachers and educators. Its major project is to upgrade the competence of mathematics teachers through national conferences, workshops, and training sessions conducted nationwide. So the third one, we have Physics Teacher Association. So Physics Teacher Association, it implements professional development programs, sponsor contests, and participate actively in international conference as paper presenter. So the fourth one and the last one, Chemistry Teacher Association. So Chemistry Teacher Association, upgrading of chemistry teachers through national convention and assemblies. So the next one, we have Teacher Education Institution. So the first one is FAPE, Philippine Association for Teacher Education, and SACPE, State Universities and College Teacher Educator Association. So this one, we have, the meaning of this is an association composed of deans, professors, and government universities, so they give opportunity to tour the historic and educational sites of other countries, afford to teach educators a good way of enriching their intellectual, cultural, and social pursuits. And the next, we have this Universities College Teacher Education Association, or the SACTE. So the next one, we have National Organization. So national organization, it is FAAT, or Federation of Accrediting Associators of the Philippines. So this is a group of agencies whose main function is to conduct accreditation of the educational qualification and facilities, starting from the administration, curriculum, faculty profile, and the learning environment. So example for national organization is COA is the Philippine Association of Colleges and Universities Commission on Accreditation. So the next one, we have PASCO, Philippine Agency for Accrediting for School, Colleges, and Universities. And the last one is AACAP. It is an association for accrediting colleges and universities in the Philippines. So that is all my report. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.
Hi, good day everyone. My name is Antoinette Tapeng, and today I am going to discuss the networking with foundations. And why do we need to know this? So, basically, this is these are mostly companies or businesses whose mission includes CSR or corporate social responsibility. And it demonstrates that these businesses takes an interest in wider social issues. With that, that the school benefits from this kind of organizations, as it aims to deliver quality educational services from the country youth. And here are some examples of foundations that caters school services and opportunities. The first one is Educational Research and Development Assistance Foundation Incorporated, or the ERDA. Second is Metrobank Foundation Incorporated, MBFI. Third is Network of Outstanding Teachers and Educators, or the NOTED. Fourth is Ayala Foundation Incorporated, AFI. Fifth is GMA Kapuso Foundation Incorporated. 6th, SM Foundation Incorporated. 7th, Foundation for Upgrading the Standard of Education Incorporated, or FUSE. 8th is Philippine Foundation for Science and Technology, or the PFST. 9 is For Books for the Barrios and Asia Foundation, or the BFTV. So, the Books for the Barrios and Asia Foundation, BFTV, this is a not-for-profit organization. It is run by usually about volunteers that collects school textbooks, educational learning aids, and devices from schools, publishers, and school children in the United States. So there will be an organization that will collect that and will put it on the organization here in the Republic of the Philippines. So the Filipino children will be the one who will benefit from that. Next is the Batubalani Foundation Incorporated. And 11th is Philippine Business for Education, or the PBED. So what is ERDA? Educational Research and Development Assistance Foundation Incorporated. So the flagship program is, this is for education for out-of-school youth. It was being founded in 1974, and it is a non-stock, non-profit organization. It is officially registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC. It has been working closely with the SWD, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, and other government agencies. Its study on the dropout problem in the Philippines, and the deserving Filipino children should have access to the education. That's the main goal. So the second one is the Metrobank Foundation Incorporated, that was being established on January 8, 1979 by Dr. George Tai Xiao Kian. So Metrobank Foundation is one of the biggest non-profit organizations in the Philippines that aims to help on sustaining and developing the education. So the corporate social responsibility arm of the Metrobank, or the MBFI, implements various programs on education, visual arts, health, and in the recognition of excellence among key professions. So, Network of Outstanding Teachers and Educators, or the MBFI, noted, committed to nurturing a culture of excellence in service among educators. So, it was founded on October 26, 1997. The Metrobank Foundation Network of Outstanding Teachers and Educators, or the MBFI, noted, Incorporated is an honor society composed of all the winners of the Metrobank Foundation search for outstanding teachers, or the SOT, and this was on since 1985. And they do have the philosophy saying which is the outstanding teachers as for others in the service of the nation. Next one is the Ayala Foundation Incorporated. So Ayala Foundation Incorporated is a non-profit organization that to fulfill the needs of the whole person through a holistic response. So Ayala Foundation Incorporated is a non-profit organization, and they are committed to helping improve the quality of education in the country, particularly in the public sector. Next one is the Philippine Business for Education, or the PBED. And PBED is a response to the need for consensus and sustained advocacy in education reform. So, it is a non-profit organization also founded in 2006 by top CEOs in the country. Philippine Business for Education, or the PBED, is the business community's response to the need for greater education and economy alignment. Next, we do have the networking with government offices. So we are lucky to have these foundations to put much value in education, yet learning is indeed a great investment. So moving on to our next domain, we have the networking with government offices. So these are commonly department that governs and take responsibility in education matters. And here are some associations under it. The first one is the Literacy Coordinating Council, in which they handle literacy training courses among the youth. Next one is we have the DOST, or the Department of Science and Technology, and it supports undergraduate and graduate scholarship programs in science and mathematics in the regional science teaching centers. Next, we have the Commission on Higher Education, or the CHED. It organizes technical panels for the all profession and benchmark the curricula of all degree with international standards. And lastly is the Teacher Educational Council. It focuses on teacher education policies and standards in both DepEd and CHED. And next one, moving on to our next domain, which is the networking with media. So this type of networking enables educational institutions with opportunities to improve teaching learning process. They are playing a big and influential role in educational sector. According to Bilbao, as a professional teacher, you are able to give better service to your students and to other education stakeholders in the community if you are connected to a network of possible sources of educational assistance, which is so true. So, the first one is the Broadcast ABS-CBN and GMA Foundation Incorporated. Second one is the government and private channels. Third is historic and cultural event. This includes the Heraya, Manawari, the Siniskwela way back then. And the fourth is publication and prints. We do have the newspapers, the magazine, the books, and the projected materials. So these projected materials could be a set of resources like motion pictures or overhead projections and many more. So the use of it helps educators or teachers to simplify, clarify, analyze, and synthesize relationships. All in all, in working in linkages, it established very good communications in partnerships with others to serve people with mutual interest by developing long-term relationship for it will gain and creating a lasting impression with people with people. So you will be learning a life skill that or a life skill which has many applications for you, both personally and professionally. With that, knowing all these things, it is such a blessing for everyone who aspires to be educated, and for those who aspires to grow professionally in teaching field, that these associations or foundations exists, which creates rooms for opportunities, learnings, and journeys. So I hope you have gained something valuable, just a little takeaways, and inspires you to be a good future educator. Someday. Thank you and God bless. That's it for my reporting.